Hey guys, what's up? I just want to talk to you about the situation that happened with Antonio. I know it was super confusing. I didn't really give too much detail about it, but now I want to, talk a little bit about what happened. This is going to be kind of a long video, so that's why I'm doing it on my camera roll. So, yeah, but basically they're at a job site, and I was there at the time, just looking at things, and they were about to finish up the spring cleanup, summer cleanup process, and I think Antonio had a backpack blower, and he just started blowing the beds, taking out the debris, all the shrub trimming, weeding, all that stuff, just taking it all out with the blower. And there was an underground hive, like beehive, and he didn't see it, and a swarm of them. I mean, he said like dozens came out of that hive and started stinging his face, and he probably had around, he said, 10 that he felt sting his face, which is crazy. I mean, even for a normal person getting stung, that's nuts. And I didn't know that at the time. I was on the other side of the property, but it was kind of insane because I saw him sprinting for his life and I didn't know what was going on. So I asked, like, hey Antonio, are you okay? And he said, yeah, I'm good, amigo. So I was like, okay. And then 10 minutes later, his face starts literally bubbling up, so big. I've never seen anybody's face like this, and it was so big to the point I'm like, dude, we gotta take you to the doctor or something. So I took him in the truck and started driving him over to the doctor's. I didn't know it was gonna be the emergency room, but literally when we were at a stoplight, trying to go to the doctor's, he said emergency. So I took him to the emergency room, and then he couldn't breathe. Like, he was gasping for air in the truck. So I was booking it to the emergency room, and I mean, it was scary stuff. And once we arrived there, he still could, like, he could breathe, but it wasn't like a full-on, nice deep breath. And we roll up there, and I open the door, and he says I couldn't see, or I can't see. So he had his eyes wide open, but he could not see. He's blind basically, because I don't know if it's the venom or what. So he couldn't see or breathe. So I had to get this guy out, and he is holding my arm over to the front door of this place, and I'm trying to get him over there as fast as possible because he's gasping for air at this point. And I go into the doctor's office or the emergency room saying, hey, we need to get this guy in fast, pronto. And I was in there by myself at the time because he can't see, he couldn't get in the door. But then I saw him collapse and fall on a tin trash can and hit his face, and literally he was bleeding around his whole face. And I'm like, okay, now we got to get him rapido. So I'm trying to get these people to get a wheelchair and get him in so he can get taken care of. And it felt like so long because they were checking for ID, they needed ID and all that crap. I'm like, just get him in the room, for goodness sakes. Like, you can do that all later. And I don't know, I mean, it was just crazy stuff. But I had to take care of my amigo, and that was definitely a leadership situation that day, and I learned a lot from it. And thank God put me in that situation to go through that, not in a bad way. I mean, Antonio is okay now, he's fine, but that type of situation with bees, that you would never expect that. It's super surprising, and honestly, it takes a lot of leadership and courage through that situation. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I just took him to the place and hope for the best. But I mean, people have died from bee stings. So he said he wasn't allergic, but he definitely was allergic because he could not breathe. He has a pretty bad diabetes as well, and that doesn't help as well. So that's why it's very important to have really great health and to prevent health issues. But this is the kind of stuff you always gotta be careful with your body and your health, because I mean, you can't do anything without it. So I was super thankful that day for what God taught me through the leadership role of what happened. I know this is a long story, this is 5 minutes, but I feel like I had to tell it because God put me in a situation of leadership and courage, even though it was scary. That storms will come, but the light always comes behind it if you got faith. And it's super important that you keep pushing and chugging along with the Lord and just trusting Him and Him alone. Let's go. We'll catch you guys later.